From the quiet places of the forest, where mystery walks among the trees. Welcome to the Church of Bigfoot, a gathering of seekers, dreamers, and blurry masses. Together, we search for truth, wonder, and the unseen.
Greetings, beloved Sasquatchers, pine-scented prophets, Sasquatchites, and big blessed members of the blurry masses. Welcome once again to the Church of Bigfoot. I am Reverend Jake, Archminister of the Unseen. Welcome, wanderer of the woods and seeker of the unseen. Whether your boots are muddy from the trail, your eyes are weary from the search, or you're simply leaning back in the quiet of your own room, you found your way here. This space is your clearing in the forest, a place to rest, reflect, and remember you belong. I'd like to base today's sermon on a recent experience I've had. And if you've ever shared a piece of your heart with someone else, you may have experienced something similar. Recently, I opened my heart and property to someone in need. I let them stay for free. No rent, no strings, just kindness. And what happened? The moment they didn't get their way and I couldn't financially support them quick enough, they packed up and left in the middle of the night. Not with gratitude, not with care, but leaving behind a mess. No thank you, no acknowledgement, just silence. And garbage covered in bugs when they left. And in the quiet after, while cleaning their mess, I found myself asking a dangerous question. What's the point of being good if this is the reward? Maybe you've asked yourself the same thing. Maybe you've given your time, your love, your energy, and instead of appreciation, were met with blatant disrespect. That's when I thought of Bigfoot, the great hider, the blurry one, the elusive neighbor who slips away when people push too close. Not because Bigfoot hates people, but because Bigfoot knows when to step back. There's a lesson in that. We're called to be good, yes. To be kind, yes. But we're not called to be doormats. Sometimes the holiest word you can say is no. No to being used. No to being taken advantage of. No to giving more than you can carry. Now, don't get me wrong. Sacrifice has its place. There are times when the giving of yourself is the truest expression of love. A parent sacrificing sleep for a child. A friend driving across town at midnight because someone is in crisis. A spouse setting aside their plans for the sake of their partner's dreams. These sacrifices aren't wasted. They plant seeds. They create connection. They carry eternal value. But there's a difference between sacrificing for love and being drained by selflessness. If every time someone needs help, you're the one they call, if every time someone is in trouble, you're the one bailing them out, if you give and give and give until your own spirit feels exhausted, that's not love. That's slow motion self-destruction. Even Bigfoot knows not to linger in the open too long. Step out, leave a footprint, then retreat into the safety of the forest. So back to the question, what's the purpose of being good if people just take advantage? Here's the truth. Being good is not a transaction. It's not a vending machine where kindness goes in and gratitude comes out. Being good is who you are. It's what aligns you with the sacred rhythm of the universe. It's how you keep your own soul intact when the world gets messy. When someone mistreats your goodness, it doesn't mean your goodness is wasted. It means their character wasn't ready to hold it. And their failure doesn't erase your strengths. The real wisdom is in balance. Sacrifice when it builds love, hope, or healing. Say no when it only builds resentment, entitlement, or dependency. Sacrifice should feel like planting an act of hope. Being used feels like bleeding, a slow loss. One grows, the other drains. Learn the difference. Trust the difference. So, how do we practice this blurry balance? Start by pausing before you say yes. If your first reaction is always to help, stop and ask, is this a seed or a drain? Then check the fruit. If past help has led to growth and gratitude, it's worth considering again. If it's led to more mess, maybe step back. And finally, let gratitude guide you. People don't owe you perfection, but a little gratitude matters. If someone never says thank you, it's a sign their heart isn't meeting yours halfway. So, to my own story. Yes, it hurt to see someone take advantage of my kindness. Yes, it stung to walk into the mess they left behind. But here's what I realized. Their lack of gratitude doesn't cancel out the goodness of the act. I was still who I wanted to be. Someone willing to help. Next time, though, I'll be a little more careful. I'll give where there's soil for gratitude to grow. I'll stand firm where there's only rocky ground. And I'll remember, Bigfoot doesn't stay where he's not respected. Neither should I, neither should you. So the purpose of being good isn't to be thanked. The purpose is to stay true to the better self you're becoming. But wisdom tells us that being good doesn't always mean saying yes. Sometimes the kindest act for you and them is to say no. So walk forward like the great Sasquatch, generous but elusive, giving but not drained, present but protected. And with that, may your footsteps this week be both kind and wise. May your boundaries be strong, your sacrifices meaningful, and no's just as sacred as your yeses. This is the Church of Bigfoot. Go in peace, go in kindness, and go a little blurry. I am Reverend Jake, Archminister of the Unseen. Until next time, be blessed.